Hi, my name is Mary Jane. I'm a big fan of hiking. I live here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we have a lot of nice trail around this area. I like to go to Sedona. I also like being around water. I started doing paddle boarding in 2022, and I enjoy that. I like hosting parties.
Lead me by the hand and help me face the rising sun. Comfort me through all the pain that life may bring.
I like gardening. I like cooking, and I have two dogs that I like to take around with me. They're my babies. I felt like every day I was like getting slower and slower, and it's almost like when I'm breathing, it's almost like a workout. And I even thought like, how am I gonna make it to my goal is to make it to 70 at least. If like just breathing is a workout for me every day. And going to work, I notice when I'm walking, I usually walk very fast. I'm noticing my coworker, they're passing me. And if I go to codes, I'm always like when I'm running short of breath. It's just not my normal. It was kind of like painful to hear, but it's also, I think, it kind of confirm and make me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy after all, because I thought it was just stress. At that time, I'm just always tired. And then eventually I start gaining weight. And I was thinking maybe I was just, lazy, or my coworker was telling me it's the side effect from, or it's the post symptoms from COVID-19. And then 2021, I continue to have those symptoms. And then when I go to bed, I feel like my head is really hot and I will start sweating. And I was thinking, oh, maybe that time I was on my late 30s, so maybe I'm experiencing menopause. I mean, a little bit too early to be menopause, but my mom, she was menopause in her early 40s. And then in 2022, I continued to have those symptoms like night sweats, and I will feel really hot when I, sleep, and I start having like pain in my back, like sudden pain, like sharp pain. And I never have, I used to be healthy and never been admitted to the hospital, never been to the emergency room. So these are kind of new to me. Usually I will have pain when I'm like hiking because it's just muscle pain. But this one is different. It's like sharp pain. And then I'm also having bloody stool for years. But my doctor thought it was from hemorrhoid, which, that time I have hemorrhoid. And my stomach area, I can start feeling like some hard stuff in there, and then I will massage it because it will hurt, and then it will like muscle will become relaxed or my stomach will relax, and it just keep getting more painful every day. And then there's time where I can't raise one of my arm, and I was thinking, oh, maybe because I was getting massages, maybe it got hurt, something like that. And then I start having back pain that doesn't go away, and start having nausea. Every time I take like vitamins and stuff, I will throw up. In 2022 of April, I saw a doctor, but she was not my regular doctor because my primary care, she left our hospital. She went to a different practice. So that doctor didn't really know me well. I usually don't complain. I just do my regular checkup and do the labs. But that time I was I was starting to have some kind of chest pain, stomach ache, and the back pain. I have so many complaints. And then the hot flashes and the night sweats. And I asked to get scanned, but there was really like I don't have history of cancer. There was really nothing. I was just asking to get scanned because I felt different, and I thought that time I gained weight. My face was kind of big, and that's not my normal. Plus, I'm always fatigued. I'm not exercising anymore. I want to exercise, but I felt like I thought I was lazy, but that was just not my normal. And the doctor thought we're gonna do labs. Um, she's gonna check about my hormone to see if I'm really in the process of being menopause, and that came back that I was diabetic, and my hormone was normal. Everything was good. So I was just put in on diabetic medication and was asked to go on, healthier diet, healthier lifestyle. And I guess I was complaining, to my coworker about my symptoms, and it keeps going on and on. And then one of my coworkers suggested, that was, I think, in September of 2022, to try to see somebody else, try to see what will happen. And I did. My original primary care provider came back to our hospital again, and I started seeing her again. And she, of course, ran some labs and diagnosed me with GERD, what is that? Esophageal reflux disease. And she started me on proton pump inhibitor, and then follow up with me in March. Nothing happened. My stomach ache is the same. The symptom is the same. So she referred me to a gastroenterologist and requested for that GI doctor to do upper scope and lower scope, because that bleeding, which we thought it was from hemorrhoid, and the stomach pain, and it's just the symptom. It's not my normal, because that primary care, she saw me before. I look like bigger, just different. And then because I'm healthy and young, it is a little bit hard to get the scope when you're on your 30s, because the screening, it doesn't start until when you're after 50s. In August, my doctor saw me again and did labs for like a follow-up checkup, and I start to develop anemia. And we don't know what's causing the anemia, so she referred me to a hematologist. And again, because I'm young, no history of cancer, it was so hard to get appointment to see a hematologist. So I end up, calling around different places here in the valley, and I end up going to a different hospital to see a hematologist. And the hematologist saw me and decided maybe we'll do iron infusion. And I mentioned to the hematologist about my stomach, and I was already suspecting something is wrong, because it's just I felt like every day I was like getting slower and slower, and it's almost like when I'm breathing, it's almost like a workout. And I even thought, like, how am I gonna make it to my goal is to make it to 70 at least, if like just breathing is a workout for me every day. And going to work, I notice when I'm walking, I usually walk very fast. I'm noticing my coworker, they're passing me. And if I go to codes, I'm always like, when I'm, running, short of breath. It's just not my normal. And I'm getting weaker. And, people will make a comment about, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look, right and stuff. So I mentioned to the hematologist that maybe I think I have gastric cancer. And the hematologist asked me if I have appointment to do the scope. And I told him, yes, I have an appointment to the scope within a month. So we decided, because the appointment is coming up soon, it's better if I would just skip that appointment and then follow up with him after. So I got scope in November 14th. And when I woke up, they told me they sent, biopsy samples, but they think I have cancer. They're almost, very positive. It looks like cancer. And they scheduled me for CT scan. After, because the next day was Wednesday, I went back to work. Friday, I got my CT scan, and my result came back, I think, Friday night, or while I was at work. Yeah. And I was looking at it because I was already studying staging for gastric. I was kind of like already, suspecting I have terminal cancer because of my symptoms. And I was researching about this, symptoms and stuff. And I was looking at guidelines on the staging. And at work, I was looking at it with my coworker, and we were thinking, oh my God, this is stage 4 gastric cancer. And from there, it's just, I try to see as much doctor as I can to see what's available for me, because I did not really have any idea. I've never worked in oncology before, so I have no idea how things are done when you get diagnosed with cancer. Even if I work as a nurse, it's very specialized. So I don't know the process. It was kind of like painful to hear, but it's also, I think, it kind of confirm and make me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy after all, because I thought it was just stress, and but also I have a question in my back about cancer. So it was reassuring me that there's nothing wrong with my head. There's something wrong with my body, and now people can start treating me. People can start, believing that there is something wrong with my body. And I was a little overwhelmed because at that time it was not the best time to have cancer. I was working full time. I was also about to go start my clinicals to be a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and that will be full time school, full time work, and then my dogs. And I was also having problem with my marriage, going, about to start divorce, and then everything kind of happened. And when I woke up, I guess I told the doctor, no, I will need to finish my school. Like I was kind of debating with them because they were telling me about, I'm gonna need to do cancer treatment. And I guess maybe I was confused still because of the anesthesia. And I guess I was talking about what I remember. They're telling me the most important thing with you now is to stay alive. You get your treatment. The school can, go later, because I was, I guess, focused about my school and work. So it was very overwhelming, especially when I start calling like different places to make appointment, dealing with insurance, because I've never done that before, never, tried like trying to get approved for something. It was just I go to primary care and I don't need to call the insurance. They just see you. But this one is a little bit different. And when you just start your treatment, it needs there's a lot of things that you need to do until everything is stable with insurance, and you know where you're gonna get your treatment and stuff. So it was very stressful at first, but I guess I made it out from that situation. I actually booked 8 appointment from different hospital to see different oncologists. I'm getting my treatment in Mayo Clinic. Also MD Anderson, they try to help me. I've seen 2 of their oncologists in there, Ironwood Research Center and also City of Hope. But at that time, what I was really, so I have 6 friends, close friends that survived from cancer. And I have this one friend that the wife, she's very familiar about, because of what they've been through. So they kind of coach me about it. So I booked the appointment and they kind of coach me what question to ask, what I should be looking at. Because when I first saw the oncologist, like within 1 week, I saw an oncologist in Ironwood Cancer Research. And that oncologist told me, because that time we don't have a lot of information, we only have the CT scan and then the result of the upper and lower scope. We don't have the biopsy result. We don't have the biomarker, nothing like that. So he's got very limited information that he need to work around. Plus, he's going to be the first oncologist I will see. And he will be the one breaking, the bad news about my cancer is incurable and my cancer is inoperable and there's not much treatment option. Because gastric cancer is not very common here in the United States. We don't have a lot of clinical trials. So, and then the problem with gastric cancer, you don't get diagnosed until you're almost, the end of your cancer. So when I saw that doctor, I felt bad for that doctor because he did not have enough time to prepare. Plus, he need to deal with me like crying in there. When he first told me that he look at the scan, there's at least 16 different areas where it's spread, but there's more. He just stopped counting. There's too much spread. When I saw somebody in MD Anderson, they explain it. The cancer spread basically from neck to my hip, and it spread to wherever it is not supposed to be. So it was kind of hard when first time I was told, I'm inoperable, incurable, and then my only option is at that time, because we don't know the biomarker, is to do chemo. And I really did not understand, why are you doing chemo if I'm kind of like in the process of dying, and I didn't understand that chemo will help with pain. I thought chemo will cure the cancer. If not, it will just give you a really bad side effect, and then it will kill you. So the doctor explained to me, it will keep the tumor size like the same size, hopefully shrink a little bit, so it will help with my pain. And then he was, that's the palliative care. And then if it doesn't control my pain, we'll transition to hospice care. Imagine that's my first appointment. Listen to your body. If you see some, provider and you feel like there is something wrong with you, don't be afraid to get a second opinion. Yeah, I think. And talk to your friends. Sometimes there's things that's happening to your, to you that you don't notice right away, but the people around you can see it. And my coworkers saw it. And I'm so glad that that one person told me that maybe see another doctor, because it just doesn't add up. So always listen to your body and don't be scared to speak out and seek for second opinion. It can save your life. And there's really only, you're the only person that can advocate for yourself. I mean, your family can, but at the end of the day, not everybody have like family, living near them. But so it's important to really speak out. Speak out in a nice way, appropriate way. That way you will be heard by those people who can help you.